Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Proven Competitors League's Grand Finals. So we've got two great games coming up today, starting in a few minutes. We've got the Proven Competitors League Final, and we've got some great commentators for that as well, with Trigosaurus and Geolithic. And then in a couple of hours' time, we have the Premier League Final, with two more great commentators, Tresh Panda and Real Crate. So before we get into the games, just want to talk about the Premier League and the Proven Competitors Leagues for those who don't know what they are. So these tournaments cover the two strongest tournaments online anywhere. They're only open to players who have really proven themselves in competitive Catan play, either in real life or online. So today is the finals day for both leagues. The Premier League is the top 20 players that can play, and the Proven Competitors League is all the rest. We've got the new season starting on April the 4th. Registration will open on Wednesday this week. And if you want to find out more about it, first of all, join King of Catan on the website, kingofcatan.net, or message me in Bob the Bandit on Discord for any further information. So, I'm going to hand you over to our two commentators. So we've got today Trigosaurus, a great player, great educator, and the founder of King of Catan. So welcome, Hank. Glad you could make it to join us.
And yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, great. It's great to have you. And with him, we have last season's Proven Competitors League champion, Geolithic, another great player. So, Geo, welcome to you as well, and thanks for agreeing to commentate.
Thanks, Bob. Really excited to watch this final.
Cool. All right. So I'll hand over to you two guys now. You can talk through the league table and the players that are playing, and then we'll get the game started in a few minutes. Over to you.
Cool. So thanks, Bob. Today we have the Proven Competitors League finals between BlueTiger, Chapha, Ionutd, and BuckleUpBuckar. BlueTiger got the first seed in the Proven Competitors League out of these four players, and the others were ranked second, third, and fourth. And like Geo, you have previous season you won the Proven Competitors League. Out of these four players, who would you say is your pick to win this finals today?
You're really putting me on the spot here, Shrek. No, I mean it's gonna be a tough one. All four players are strong, all-round players. They've been around for a while. Chapha is sort of the newer player in the Proven Competitors League. Ionutd, BlueTiger, they've played for a long time. Buckle actually also just qualified. So in terms of like their track records, you know, it's a toss-up. Their strengths across the board, like they make solid plays. I mean, maybe we should just go through the players individually. We could talk a little bit about their games. But in terms of my prediction, Buckle is someone I've known for a long time. I'm going to try and remove my bias, but you know, he'd probably be my pick. But in terms of their actual potential to win, this really could go any which way.
Yeah, definitely. It will also be very board dependent. I really like Ionutd's play on-board play style. He was also the Premier League finalist in season 3, so we know he has he has something to prove in this scene. Actually, like I've looked at these four players, and BlueTiger is the only one who has a King of Catan title under his belt. So he is the only one who has the experience of winning a KOC championship, but I believe Ionutd has won other online Catan tournaments, so he has that experience of winning the big pressure games as well. And I definitely agree. Like I've heard Young Naija and or Ebox say that Chapha is the next is the next player to come. So so we'll see about that. My pick is gonna be Ionutd. I think I have a lot of respect for his playstyle, and I feel like he is very um very eager to win this. And like all four players are going back to Premier League. Premier League next season. So very interesting to see them there next season. So I would like to look at the board because we can theorize all we want, but we actually
Okay.
need to see the board to
Totally.
to awesome. So so all these players did make some finals in KOC. We see that Buckle is actually playing his first BCL season for Chapha as well. And BlueTiger has some more experience. We haven't talked about BlueTiger a lot yet. What do you think his strengths in Catan are mainly?
I think for one, he's very reasonable. Like you're never really surprised by BlueTiger's decision making. So,
Hmm.
for one, like he's gonna be. Mhm. Okay, so let's open up.
Okay,
Yeah, no,
cool. Okay. So Buckle
Cool.
has the first pick, and we have uh, not a lot of ore on this board actually. We do have a lot of wheat with like the 8 and the 6 wheat. Is there like some spot that really stands out to you to where you would place on here?
So yeah, to your point, it's a low ore board. The 8-5-10 on the left looks pretty strong in terms of getting the best ore. You'll be in a good wheat spot, and it's also the best brick spot on the board. The 9-5-10 also is a contender on the right. But you've got the wood port at the bottom with the 8-5-10, the 8-4-10, and the 9-5-10.
Mhm.
That's also a decent spot. I'd probably say the 8-5-10 at the left is probably
Yeah.
traditionally the strongest spot on the board. High production, good mix of resources, best ore on the board, best brick on the board.
Yeah. I believe, and maybe Shinislaw has told me this, but that you are a huge fan of being able to place on the brick. Is that true, or?
Shin likes to tease me. Not not exclusively. I think it really just depends on the board. I think at this level, each of these players might have certain tendencies to play a certain way, but you have to be adaptable and flexible to the players and to the actual board in front of you. I mean, I like playing roads because it's fun, but
Mhm.
if it's an Orby cheap board, you gotta sort of play what you're given.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so I do agree with you. Like 5-8-10, from a traditional standpoint, is most likely the pick here for Buckle. I do uh, respect him taking the time for it because tough decision. Like 8-5-10 goes along with a board would like I would probably point towards the 3-for-1 board there because that's very flexible. I don't really have the ore board in a really high respect. Uh, I expect him to place 8-5-10 and a point towards the 3-for-1 board. There's also no place that will really cut him off there, and I don't really see anyone placing on a 5-2. So I think 8-5-10 is just safe. Like the big risk with the
Definitely.
8-5-10, I'd say, is that both the 8 and the 10 will be
Yep.
blocked a lot.
Exactly. Yep.
So
For sure. But that's just sort of you kind of have to take that with this board. You leave it open to anyone else, and second, third place taking 8-5-10 is just too strong, I think. So you just
yeah,
take the hit with the
yeah.
robber.
Yeah, I agree with you here. So I feel like I've recently talked with Ionutd about how to do placements, and Ionutd told me that like being unblockable is one of the main reasons on why he makes his placement decisions. Like 8-5-10, but might not be as appealing to him as it might be to the other players. But obviously he's not picking first, so we will never know what he would have done. But so are you surprised to see Buckle pointing his road towards the ore port, or do you feel like this is the right pick, or what are your thoughts here?
I mean, he might be thinking that the 10-9-2 might get taken by
Mhm.
someone, and the traditional place you'd point your road is to the 5-2-3-4-1 port. And so maybe in his mind, this is a safe guarantee for two settlement spots. without worrying about someone cutting him off. And as we think, the 5-2 will be left open, so he can still go to the 5-2 anyways. Given that he'll have the best brick on the board, I don't think he'll have any difficulties with getting roads. So
Okay.
I think it's a sound decision. Would have gone 5-2, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Okay. So next up is BlueTiger placing on, and very nice playing as blue as well. That is very convenient for us. He will have to decide where to go with his second placement, and where would you favor towards? What spot do you like here?
Well, I think going back to the point we made earlier, these players are all adaptable. BlueTiger does tend to play more of an or we cheap game, but of course he can do other things. So with that in mind, I would be surprised to see him secure one of the stronger or spots. And I think the 5-9-10 or the 8-4-10 is good flexibility. This is such a strong wheat board that if you get decent or and sheep starting out, you'll probably get good wheat on the way back as second
Okay.
and third. What do you think?
Interesting. Yeah, let's try to place this out. Like if it goes 8-4-10, 5-9-10 as second or third, then fourth position could go 8-4, well, 6-5-11. Well, they could do a lot of different things, right? Oh, interesting. So you were saying he likes Orvi cheap. Perhaps he is saying the wheat. If I go for a spot without wheat now, then I will have a problem later on because I could get blocked out of the wheat here. Do you feel like that reasoning is like what he is going with, or do you feel like there's something else in play here?
Yeah, I think that could be what's happening. I mean, the 8-4-3 is obviously going to get taken, and so then the only strong wheat spot left will be the 11-6-3. I mean, it's also possible someone takes the 11-4-3 at the top to try and negate the 8 and the 6, but
Yeah,
that does leave the 8-4 open. He might be
yeah.
thinking, you know, he'll go for the 10-9-2 on the way back, maybe,
Mhm.
so that he'll have sort of all resources with the potential for the coordinated roads with the 5s. We'll see.
Okay, so a spot I see here is as fourth position being Chapha. You could do 5-9-10, 8-4-3, both at the bottom right side of the map, and then play a strong wood board strategy. Risk with that is someone might place on the 8-10. Haven't placed it out fully, but is that something that would appeal to you, or do you feel like just keep it safe uh with like one of those spots, either the 8-4-10 or the 5-9-10 in combination with the 6-3-11 is the best way to go here?
So what were the two spots you said for Chapha?
So I was like, I really like 5-9-10, 8-4-3 at the bottom
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do have Orvi cheap, and you have a ton of wood and a wood board available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's strong. You leave open the 8-10 with the wood port.
Mhm.
And given that Buckle is placing last on this board with no wood to complement his brick, I think there's a good chance he just takes the 8-10 straight up.
Yeah.
Having said that, if you take the 5-9-10 and the 8-4-3 and you don't get the wood port, you've got a ton of wood without a port to convert. So I would say if you're going for the wood port, you don't leave the 8-10 open, because you need it with that combination of resources without a 3-for-1 port. Maybe a safer play would be blocking off the 8-4-10. You might point left to the 8-3, thinking that the 8-3 is going to be open. I don't see anyone taking that. And then you still take the 5-9-10. So you secure the 10 or for yourself. You guarantee yourself the wood port, and you've got an expansion spot with the 8-3 likely open.
Cool. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. So yeah, that is definitely a way to play the alternative or reach the alternative OWS setup in this situation.
Yeah.
I feel like I would really like to get on the wheat now on the 6-3-11, because otherwise I get locked out of wheat. Wheat
Mhm.
is often difficult to trade for because there's a lot of demand for it regardless. So I would like it to see with either the 5-9-10 or the 8-4-10. I wouldn't go with 5-4-10, 6-3-11 because of the same reasoning what you said. Like 8-10, Buckle might definitely place there. So we do see Chapha, and like the sheep board is really nice with the 6-3-11. So I expect him to place there, and then I would go with 5-9-10 because the 9 sheep is just a little bit higher than the 4 sheep. So that would be my reasoning there.
Yeah, and if he's going for the sheep board, having a better production on the sheep is a good thing.
Yeah, he could also combine
think
it with 9, 10, 11. Do you feel like that is a good play here?
for sure. And just going back to sort of how players tend to play, I think if you were to, you know, give the two-dimensional description of these players, I think Chapha and BlueTiger are more or we cheap leaning. Again, they have the flexibility and the ability to do a bunch of different things, but those two tend to go more or we cheap, whereas Buckle and Ionutd both, proclaim that they prefer road strats. So if anyone's going to take the straight up or we cheap setup on this board, I think it's likely to be Chapha or BlueTiger. So I could see a 9, 10, 11 from Chapha here as well. But it would be surprising given how strong the 5, 9, 10 and the 8, 4, 10 are.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I still expect him to go 5, 9, 10. That would be the strongest. However, there's also a merit to not making your position to be seen as strong as it could be.
Right.
Do you feel like there's any argument for that right now to look a little weaker to fend off some early game robbers? Like you could place 2-9, 2-9-10 here at the left side of the board with the brick, then go on the 5-2. Is there? Do you feel like that argument holds, or is? Yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I think generally speaking, pacing is important in a Catan game, and that includes how strong you appear to your opponents. Having said that, if you're on a board where there's strong or weak sheep or high production, sometimes you don't have time to play a slow game. And so my concern with the 10-9-2 with the 11-3-6 is it's just too slow when, you know, Buckle started off with the 8-5-10. These other players are going to have two strong 3 hex spots to start out with. So your slow pacing might not be fast enough. So I would be more concerned with just putting myself in a good position to win. Everyone's going to have strong setups. So there's no really pulling the wool over anyone's eyes and saying, "Oh, I'm not strong here." Everyone's going to be strong on this board. Clearly, these
Yeah.
are all strong players,
Yeah.
given their records in the playoffs.
Yeah, certainly. Another option that could be played here, uh, perhaps this is a little slow as well, but you could like to justify the sheep board. You could go on the combination of sheep spots at the bottom with the 6 and a 9, either with the 2 brick or with the 3 wheat. Um, is there any argument to that, or do you feel like this is so much weaker than 5, 9, 10, 8, 4, 10, and all these other options that this is not where you want to go?
Yeah, I think maybe if there was a different, the 11-3-6 were stronger, um, then relying on the sheep port would have been a more viable option. But having just wood wheat sheep with two 3 spots, when there's going to be strong or wheat sheep on the board, coordinated roads potentially, I just think it's a little bit slow.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we see that Chapha went with the 8-4-10, and now he's deciding where to point his road. He can either go towards the 8-3 with the wheat board, or towards the wood board. He does have quite a bit of wood production. He has the 8 wood and the 3 wood, and he does decide to go with the wood board. This might lead to a race with the player on the 5-9-10. We'll see how they will handle that. Do you feel like this is also what you would have done, pointing towards the wood board, or do you feel like wheat board is perhaps better, less contested? You do have a lot of wheat, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a fair question. Which would you lean towards in this case?
Um, I do like the wood board better because, like from just the perspective of if I get it, because if you go for the wheat board, you will also double up on the 8 wood, which will cause you to have 12 points of wood production and no wood board. And if you go on the 10 ore with the wood board, you actually double up on your ore production, which will balance
Exactly.
it out with the wheat, and then the wood can help you be more flexible if you need one of the resources if the numbers aren't rolling. So I like getting the wood board better. However, the downside here is that if like I definitely expect Ionutd to place on the 5, 9, 10 here. You could leave it for BlueTiger, so he doesn't need really have to, but um and then there might be a race going because getting like the same reasoning applies for the player on the 5, 9, 10 as for the player on the 8, 4, 10. So
Hmm.
that is so that is my thoughts on it. I would like if I can guarantee get it, then I would perhaps do it.
Right. Well, I agree with you. I think the wood port is stronger, and I think the reason is everything you said. Plus, it adds more unblockability to Chappa's game. So if you
Yeah.
look at how the board is set up, there's the two wheat spots.
Ooh,
Interesting.
interesting. Yeah. So I was kind of expecting him not to go on the 5, 9, 10 because like I was saying, uh he doesn't want to go with the 5, 9, 10 because this way he becomes very unblockable. Probably either the 10 for 11 or the 9 for 11 is left open. And that makes Ionut have very strong spot later in the game. And now he's a little weaker. And like 5, 9, 10 is fine if BlueTiger gets it. However, it is not fine if Buckle gets it because
E- e-
that's so
exactly.
strong.
Exactly. So yeah, so I would just to finish what I was saying before, like the 8 wheat and the 6 wheat, like those are the two strong wheat spots. So I can imagine you've got a contest here where uh Chappa and BlueTiger are fending off the 6 wheat being blocked versus Ionut and Buckle. So in going for the wood port, you keep your wheat spot open. If you go for the wheat port, your 6 weeks gets blocked, you're stuck. Um,
Yeah.
at least if you got the wood port and you've doubled your ore, um, they won't know what to block because you've got 3 strong spots to potentially block. And going now to Iona's position, I think he might be thinking, who's going to get road here? Everyone's settlements are pretty severed on this board, so if he's able to secure the 10, 3, 11, thinking long-term strategy, he's probably thinking if he gets that spot, which I think is going to be the priority, he'll be best positioned to connect for road later down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that is indeed the reasoning. As well as kind of forgot my words here. Like there was also another spot I was looking at because now he also leaves open the 693 for Buckle, which is really strong for a Buckle actually. Um, so he will but yeah, Ionut will have good expansion spots as well as good production later and the ability to fight for the longest road where all the other players are most likely going to fight for the largest army because as you said, BlueTiger and Chapha have the tendency to go for more hybrid or cheap setups, which they did. You said Ionut has the tendency to go for the longest road, which he now did, and now it's interesting what Buckle will be doing. If he will like you did say he wants to go for a longest road setup, but I don't know if he gets the opportunity to do that.
No, I don't think that's
Oh,
the case there.
wow. Interesting. So they will
He,
leave Buckle the 5, 8, 10, 5, 9, 10 combination.
I think Buckle must be thinking his birthday came early with this setup.
Yeah.
Arguably, the two strongest spots on the board. Traditionally, 8-5-10 and the 9-5-10/8-4-10. Buckle gets both
Yeah.
with the coordinated road, with the
Do
double
you
or.
do you feel like there's an argument to going 5-9-12 and then going for the 5-2 early on the 3-1 port and then just expanding towards the I believe it's the west coast of the island?
I think you just go 5-9-10 here.
Okay.
It's just so strong. You've got double or you've got the best wheat, you've got the best road production on the board. The thing is, if fives hit, then Buckle potentially also cuts Alex off at the 10-3-11. So I just think
Ooh,
there's just so
yeah.
much flexibility. You don't know what to block if Buckle gets the 5-9-10.
Yeah.
Probably the 8 wheat because that's the one weakness. He's got one wheat spot on the board, so Alex is also gonna get blocked as a consequence of leaving Buckle that really strong setup, just because he's annexed with Buckle on the 8 wheat at the top. So yeah, this could be a fast game, but I imagine all of the heat is gonna be on Buckle really early.
Yeah, if he decides to take the 5-9-10, because he could go with a similar reasoning as Ionutd and BlueTiger go, like, I don't want this 5-9-10 that brings way too much heat. He could go 9-4-11 here and just leave the 5-9-10 open.
Yeah, sometimes I think you have to embrace the heat, embrace the smoke. You're and this is one of those cases where it's like you're not Buckle is not playing possum. He's not gonna be trying to look weak. So you've got the best setup, embrace it, and just try and play optimally to win the game. Everyone knows he's gonna be in the strongest position probably. I'd be surprised if he left open the 5-9-10. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I've had so many losing experiences with taking the strongest spot. Like I can guarantee like at least 7 robbers will go on Buckle if he does this exactly. But I'm excited to see it because
Yeah.
so Buckle will now be the clear favorite with this setup. I think for me, BlueTiger is the underdog in this situation
hmm
with this setup. Do you feel like that is true, or do you feel like his
Well,
there's a weaker setup here?
it's a great question because people are like, any 9 out of 10 players are going to look at the setup and think Buckle is by far in the strongest position based on
Yeah,
his production, based on the fact that he's got every resource, based on the fact that he's got coordinated roads. But then the question is, what is your win condition on the board? Um, who's going to get army? Who's going to get road? And does he even need those things? So I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Buckle actually wins. However, at the start of the game, the early game, I would be remiss if Buckle weren't block at every
yeah,
opportunity.
yeah. So we started the game with an 8. After that, Buckle bought the development card. We continued with an 11 and a 10. So and now a 5. So right off the bat, there's a lot of ore in this game.
Mhm,
So it will be a question of who starts with the wheat to be able to get that early city. We haven't had any 6s yet, but we did have an 8, and Chapha got another wheat on the 11.
mhm.
So I know that Chapha started on the 8-4-10. We had a 10 as well, right? Yeah, we did. So he has at least 2 ore now. He has the wheat. He has gotten 1 wheat of the 11, so he could buy a development card here. He has 2 wood as well. He has a sheep. So, uh, do you feel like he should development card here, or do you feel like he should hold in this situation?
I think I would probably hold. Um, I think a city would be quite nice for Chappa. Having said that, you get an early game city, you immediately jump out to everyone else. But I think even with the city, Buckle's still going to be the target if anyone else gets the city. So that's a nice cushion for Chapha when he decides to city up. I mean, he's going to get blocked with Buckle, but Buckle might still be the rob.
Okay.
I'd be interested to hear what the players are saying right now, whether they're interpreting each other's relative positions the way that we're thinking. Maybe it's a good time to
Yeah, I
jump
would be
over
very,
to.
very interested in as well.
The future wheat trade, I would give you a non-block because 2 weeks is kind of expensive.
That's not that expensive. I mean,
Well, I'm just gonna hold.
I mean,
Then.
okay. I mean,
well, we can talk next turn. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about that.
yeah. Does he might have any wheat they want to trade?
No, sorry.
Do you have bricks to trade?
Yeah, I do. I guess I can hold.
Okay.
It's the 7.
Yeah, I'm looking for a brick. Trading a brick buckle.
What are you offering?
A sheep.
I'll do it for a wheat.
No man, I have.
I mean, I only got one, so you don't gotta get a chance to get it.
No, but you have 2 ores in hand as well, which I like.
That's also
Just rob him then, Tiger.
Yeah.
Get everything you want. Unless you get the sheep again, that'd be so funny.
Well,
Did you
in
get
my
the
life,
sheep?
I'll probably
No. 7.
I guess you got the sheep.
buckle.
So we saw a failed trade attempt between Chapha and Buckle, and BlueTiger tried to steal ore and wheat in order to get the city, but it seems like he has gotten the sheep. He was also looking for brick in order to, because he doesn't have any brick, so I assume it's just for a road. I assume his first expansion opportunity will be towards the wheat board, but he might want to go towards the tree front board, and because he has so much sheep as well. I would be inclined to go to the wheat board because that way you're not doubling up on the six sheep, and you can actually use the wheat more efficiently. However, the argument for the tree front board is because you want to port those sheep into more efficient resources, or mainly ore in this situation. So we continue with 5, and I will move Geo here. Hey Geo, welcome back.
Hey guys. Sorry, I got immersed in the table talk just now.
that happens to all of us, so totally understandable. We continued with a 5. Is there something that you expect will happen in the coming orbits, or is it gonna be very role dependent, or what are your thoughts here?
Well, none of that surprised me. It's the conversation is very Buckle centric. That's the thing with the setup, like you mentioned. Like Buckle's setup on its face is the strongest, just based on raw production and the versatility. Even though others have very strong setups as well, so every robber Buckle is going to have to defend why it shouldn't be him, even though Tigers has a winnable position, Ionutd has a winnable position, Chapha has a winnable position. So that's just interesting to note that, like, as we expected, Buckle is taking the heat. We've had, what is it, 3 5s now already. Going back to the coordinated road point, if Ionutd doesn't secure the 10-3-11, I think it's going to be extremely challenging for him to win
Yeah.
the game. And Buckle is the person to plow him with, what is it? Does he have 3 roads in hand right now, potentially?
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see whether Buckle, I think he lost an ore on that rob, so he may actually have road settle in hand. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, if that's the case, that would be great for Buckle because Ionutd, as how it seems like now, is his road competition. And if he is able to make a plow to the 10-3-11, it disconnects the roads for Ionutd and making Buckle increase his already enormous production with an 8-point producing spot. So like quickly counting this is 12 plus 11, so 23 points of production. This is really like on the top of the edge. And then on, I believe, orbit 2 or 3, you're adding 8 points of production to that. Like if we simply compare it to Ionutd, like he has an 8-point producing spot and a 10-point producing spot, so that would be 13 points more production than Ionutd would have at that certain point. So at that point, it will be so extremely difficult for Ionutd. Even if he's like Buckle is blocked at his best spot, which then will be the 10 ore, which is 6 point of production, then even then his production is still way higher than Ionutd's. Even if you discount Ionutd not being blocked. So
Yeah, I guess
roll the 10. Yeah.
I guess my question is, if you're Buckle, what's your first settlement on this board? Imagine you have 2 roads in hand in a settle.
10-3-11.
10-3-11.
Yeah, absolutely. 10-3-11. I don't know. Like, I know Buckle isn't a very ruthless player, so
He's plenty ruthless. I'm just kidding.
Yes? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, if he is a ruthless player, he should definitely go 10-3-11, I think, because you're the only player who can compete with you for the longest road will most likely be unable to compete with you for the longest road.
Yeah, maybe ruthless isn't the word. But I do think he's judicious. He'll make the right decision in spite of friendships and I mean that in the best possible way. He's not going to make an emotional choice. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, especially like I also noticed that players when playing in Proven Competitors League, Premier League, and especially the final games tend to make these plays that are more on the ruthless side of the spectrum here a lot more easily than in like the regular community games. We see a trade here. Oh
Yeah.
wow, brick
Buckle's
for
got
wheat with Chapha.
the city in hand, I think. He had a wheat from earlier, and he had a bucket load of ore. So maybe that's the priority for Buckle at this stage. We'll
I
see
think
whether he
Chapha was extorted here, right? Like this will go on the 5 wood now. No, wait. Buckle is making it so he will green like the 9 sheep or something like that, because otherwise it doesn't make sense that he gets the wheat here, right?
Yeah, I think the 9 sheep makes sense if it is if it was an extortion. Otherwise, the 6 wheat probably.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see. Buckle still has 30 seconds left in his turn. Do you like to take your time during these high pressure games, or do you feel like, or do you always do that, or do you never, or just try to stay within your own flow of your play pace?
In terms of racing out in the lead with points, is that what you mean, or just
No,
decision making?
I mean just taking in terms of time, not in terms of in-game pacing.
Oh, that's interesting. I guess I don't typically think about how long I'm taking on a turn. I don't usually take that long.
Mhm.
I think a lot of it depends on how active a player is with, communicating with others and making
Yeah.
trades. I'm probably somewhere in the middle of the spectrum. I think you need to be proactive, but you don't need to be a part of every conversation. But I mean, there are some players who are a lot more active, and that's not a flaw. It's just a play style.
Mhm.
Okay, so Buckle
Okay.
looks like he's prioritizing the 5-2.
Yeah, he traded that brick away, so he needed the wheat for the road saddle, but he needed the brick as well. So just gonna do, and that is interesting because Buckle is now also going for development cards. Probably because he is being seen as the threat. Do you feel like you would have done this as well, or do you feel like he could have also just done 3 roads towards the 9th and 11, which would cut off Ionut from the 10 3 11 as well?
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I thought Buckle had a city in hand. He must have been a wheat short. How
Yeah,
many
he
eight?
didn't have any wheat, I believe.
I see. But didn't he get a wheat on the trade previously? Okay,
Hmm.
he used the wheat that he had for the development card earlier, I suppose,
Yeah, yeah.
from the 1-8, and then he got one just now. Got it. It is curious that he's prioritizing the 5-2 as the first expansion spot. The 3-for-1 port's always flexible, but yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I do feel like getting on a solid board will help him a lot. So like his other board opportunities don't really help him as much. Like getting on the ore board, like you don't really wanna board your ore very often. Getting on a brick board or the wood board, you would need a ton of fives for that to justify that, I feel like, and then go for largest army. I feel like now getting on a 3-front board is actually very important for him and will make his game more difficult to stop
Hmm.
because he already has that production, and then adding the flexibility of the board of the development cards to it will make his game stronger, and instead of just focusing on getting more raw production that way.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder if Buckle has spoken with Ionut about the 10-3-11. Maybe he makes a deal with Ionut because Buckle doesn't need it. I mean, it's a nice to have,
Hmm.
and in fact, it's not bad for Ionut to get the 10-3-11 because immediately everyone's going to start panicking that Ionut can connect with 2 roads to um
Yeah.
to get road. It takes some of the heat off of Buckle. So maybe, a decent play might be I leave you the 10-3-11 for X. And I think if Buckle had 3 roads in hand, what he might have done just now potentially is build to the 11-9-4 and say to Ionut, I leave you 10-3-11, you leave me 9-11-4. And I like that flexibility for Buckle. With people won't know where to block, and he's got all the ports sitting for him. He's got the brick port, the 3-for-1 port, and he can potentially also take road, but it will look like Alex is best position to take it with 2 roads to connect. So I think that may have been a potential play for him.
Yeah, could very well be indeed. You have another 10 roll and 8 rolled previously, so great rolls again for Buckle, but one of his 10s is blocked, so he quote unquote only received 1 ore. And Chapha has now a turn to make with 9 cards. Do you feel like his first priority should be getting on the sheep board or the wood board, or perhaps getting a city? I do feel like he is quite close to a city. Don't you agree?
He should be. And in his position, again, like I worry about getting left behind. I think even with a city, Chappa's people won't be thinking Chapha is the threat. And given that he's just got the 110 ore spot, which could be blocked just by virtue of the fact of being connected with Buckle. If you have a city, I think you drop the city and you increase your production. I think you'll still get trades. Like people won't be thinking that he's he's the threat even with the
Mhm.
city.
Ooh, the big roll for Buckle. I believe we are going to see a settlement here for Buckle. Chapha built his road towards the wood board. I do feel like he will win that race by Buckle not going for it. I think based on the trade offer he made Chapha, he wanted to get a brick and a wheat. I feel like based on that, he lacks a wheat to city and wanted to have the brick for just because brick is really valuable to him. And we still Year of Plenty from Buckle. So are we gonna see a city and a settlement on this turn?
Hmm. What do you think about that, Buckle using a Year of Plenty for an ore and a wheat?
If he gets the city settlement, I think that's
pretty good.
extremely powerful. yeah, exactly. The heat was already on him.
Yeah.
And there, like the thing is, there can't be any more heat on him already. So,
Yeah.
just getting on that 3-font board will improve his flexibility. I personally, I really like holding on to the Year of Plenty, because it can get you out of situations like when you have 5 settlements on the board or when you have 2 cities and nowhere to go.
Mhm.
But in Buckle's situation, I feel like using it as early as possible to just increase your production, increase your having a board. I think it's really good.
Mhm.
However, he is waiting a really long time, so I think he is doubting something. So I don't think we are going to see saddle plus city on this turn. Perhaps something with a development card, or I don't know.
Should we navigate back so we can hear a little bit as to what's going on the
Yeah,
board?
that might be the right thing to do because I'm a bit puzzled.
So the 5-2, and you see the 5-9-10, you get 2 roads every 5. That's
Yeah.
Where are the sixes? Not a single 6 so far.
No sixes, no threes.
Yep.
Yep.
They'll come. They'll come.
Nope, more eights.
Siva, do you need anything other than brick?
I need wheat so that I can at least push for art.
Yeah, I'm back.
So we know that Buckle wasn't able to settle yet, but he was able to city. And I feel like the discussion here was between where he would want to place his city, either the 8-5-10 or the 5-9-10. So, Gio, do you agree with Buckle setting up the 5-9-10, or would you have done the 8-5-10?
1000%. I think he made the right decision. His one Achilles heel so far this game has been wheat,
Mhm.
and I think the 8 wheat will continue to be blocked. And while that's blocked, he doubles his production on the 5-9-10. Sitting up the 8-5-10 would just make the 8 wheat an even bigger target. And I think without wheat in his hand, it slows him down a lot. So at least now people have a decision to make as to where he is, and he increases his unblockability. What do you think?
I agree with the reasoning, but there could also be, you could also make the argument like if I city up the wheat, then when it's not blocked and it rolls, I will automatically get 2 wheat,
True.
which makes it easier for me to city up the 5-9-10 or
Right.
get 2 development cards instead of 1. Yeah, so
Right.
those are my thoughts. Is there an argument to settle on the 5-2 instead of citying one of the 2 spots, because he probably could have with the Year of Plenty.
I think I like the city play. I don't think the 5-2 is going anywhere, and my question would be like, what would he be porting at that 3-for-1 spot? I like him prioritizing the city at this stage when wheat is so rare for him, with it being constantly blocked.
Yeah.
and I just think it's very easy for him to settle with his production. So
Okay, so Ionutdd just rolled a 7, which is a shame for him and for Chapha as well, because they were both on 8 cards. I feel like it's difficult for Ionutdd cannot really or doesn't want to put it on the 8 wheat. So this is going okay to the 9 sheep to prevent him from settling. He probably lacks the sheep. We haven't seen a lot of 9s yet. And also from development cards, what do you feel like the way to stop Buckle is right now for BlueTiger, for Ionutdd, and for Chapha in this game?
the best way to slow Buckle down,
Yeah.
you know, the wheat for I think he needs wheat to do anything.
Mhm.
Having said that, Buckle still is going to be able to trade the brick away. So maybe that's a potential block. Getting the coordinated 5s is pretty brutal for everyone else, and then Buckle has that brick to part ways with if he needs something. So maybe that's the second spot you look at blocking over the 9 sheep, but the 9 sheep makes sense if you want to slow down the dev cards.
Yeah.
So I think that was a sound move from Alex.
Yeah. And a great trade between Chapha and Ionutdd here, and Ionutdd is Alex for the people wondering. And because they did a brick for an ore trade, Ionutdd was able to city there on the 843, and Chapha really needs the brick to settle on that wood board. So this is I think it's very important for these players to be able to trade with each other, considering Buckle is the leader right now. So if the other players can help each other have a more efficient game plan, then they have a better chance of being able to catch up to Buckle when they slow him down.
Yeah, and again, I look back at the positioning on the board. Buckle and Alex are tied. They both have a city. Alex is probably going to get the 10-3-11, unless I doesn't look like Buckle's prioritizing it, even though I think he probably should. It's just interesting that it's still so close, yet Buckle is getting all of the heat. So I think we might be, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next few turns. It's still anyone's game.
Yeah, I agree. So no move made by Buckle, and we see BlueTiger also rolling an unfortunate 7, losing 4 cards in the process. He can now put it on the 8 wheat. However, Buckle just rolled the 8. So do you feel like the block is still on the 8 wheat despite him already having this?
Yeah, I think that's right, because I wouldn't only be concerned about Buckle. I think Alex, now that he's citied up the 8-4-3, he can get the 9-4-11, he can get the 10-3-11. Yeah, I just think that the focus needs to be spread.
Mhm.
I think Alex needs some love
Okay.
with the robber.
Okay, so the steal is still on Buckle, which I agree with. So BlueTiger offers wood for wheat, and they do it with Ionutdd. So there was the deal. At least don't steal from me, and then you'll get the wheat, which BlueTiger takes. But he doesn't have anything to do with it yet, and we've rolled a 7 from Ionutdd. So this is perhaps going back to this 9 sheep, or do you feel like now it goes on the 10 or shared by Buckle and Chapha?
I don't think the 10 or accomplishes as much. And I don't think that Alex is that worried about Chapha just yet. So I think he puts it on the spot that cripples Buckle the most, or debilitates Buckles, slows him down the most.
Okay.
So I could see a solo block here.
Ooh.
Oh, well, there we go, the 10 or.
Yeah, I felt like last time he put it on a 9, and then after that he immediately traded with Chapha. So I think Ionutdd is making the argument, if you trade with me, then I will put it on the 9 sheep. If you don't trade with me, then I'm gonna put it on the 10, or I'm still gonna steal from Buckle. But
Yeah.
yeah. So
That's
making
exactly
that
right.
so 7 was rolled by Ionutdd. Chapha is up next. He stole from Buckle, but wasn't able to do anything. And another 7. We
Yeah,
have
it looks
seen
like
a lot of those 7s, didn't we?
I think Buckle's going for some type of record this game with
yeah. So I wonder. I feel like if he gets robbed 20 times, then he should be safe with that record, shouldn't he?
yeah, I mean, just in terms of the robber distribution and the percentage of robs, and I think it's correct. It should be Buckle, but still, he only has 3 points, and so does Alex. So it's just interesting how.
So are we gonna see the 8 wheat, or might Chapha perhaps be desperate to? Oh, he's getting the brick trade from Buckle.
Mm.
That must be the reasoning. I mean, I don't see any other reason. So he steals from Alex here, and actually gets the settlement. Okay, I don't understand this. Perhaps Chapha wants to make friends with Buckle here. I don't know. Or perhaps he feels like he has been taken care of enough. I felt like the 8 wheat was the block. Yeah, you can still steal from Alex here, but if you don't get the brick trade, then
There either it was something owed, or something a future offer from Buckle. I think that would make that sound, but otherwise, I agree. It would probably still be the 8 wheat.
Okay. So we saw the 8 being rolled right after the 11. So some wheat in the game, and Chapha also got a wood here. BlueTiger. I think he lacks the brick to settle, and I'm not sure if there's any brick in the game at all. Haven't seen that be rolled in a while. So
What do you think BlueTiger's win condition is here on this board?
I think largest army is something he needs to get, but he also needs to increase his production. So that will be difficult. Like the advantage he might have, like right now, only he and Buckle are the players who have a knight activated or have a development card down. But like the advantage he has is that Buckle might also still go for the longest road, and that is like it. Well, Buckle does have a crazy load of production, but even his production doesn't really isn't really sustainable to go for both the longest road and the largest army against players who know what they are doing well. And we see a trade between BlueTiger and Ionutdd. So do we see a city here from BlueTiger? Yes, we do on the 6-5-11. So let's see what Ionutdd got out of this. I feel like BlueTiger. So he traded an ore for a wheat. And he got the ore. Yeah, okay. So
and I think BlueTiger definitely chose the right spot to city up. No point sitting the 9-6-3 when he needs that ore.
Yeah, exactly. Like he needs more ore. Ore is unlikely to be blocked a lot, so yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Or ever. The 11 is pretty safe.
Well, you never know. You never know how these games go. Like we roll 6 6s in a row, and then he can city up perhaps again or a few 11s, and then the 11 might become the block. But for now, we are continuing with the 9 and the 10, which is more to the liking of Buckle Up. Because for the change, his 9 isn't blocked this time, but it's Ionutdd's and BlueTiger's 9. And he has gotten a ton of ore. We have seen the 8 roll before this, so perhaps we could see a second city by BlueTiger, this time on the 8-5-10, or perhaps he could settle on the 5-2. I haven't seen the 5 roll these sparse orbits, so I don't expect a settlement yet, but I feel like that would be the ideal situation in this
from Buckle.
Yeah. Do you agree with me? Like settling here is better than citying?
I think I think there's the argument either way. I don't I don't feel strongly. I mean, I think the city on the 8-5-10 is pretty good.
Mhm.
Get just
Yeah,
doubling up
definitely.
that, getting 2 rows every time a 5 hits, for example.
Yeah.
Getting 4 ors every time a 10 hits. You know, it's pretty strong. It's hard to argue against that. But the fact that he
Yeah.
popped twice, I think, is a good thing. You know, that
Yeah.
way he can keep the robber off of himself, and he can keep his 8 wheat unblocked for a little bit longer, which I think is nice. And he slows down Alex, who I think at this stage is probably in second place in terms of his win condition.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna like and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're saying that because Alex is the only one going for the longest route, so he will have less heat to bear with, as the other players will have to invest a lot of resources into the condition of getting the largest army, whereas Alex will have to invest a lot less resources into getting the longest route. Do you? Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Right now
Yeah.
we have potentially 3 people going for army, whereas only Buckle is really contesting Alex for longest road, and I think he's the only one that has a viable shot to take it from Alex.
Yeah. Well, we did see a 5 roll this orbit, so or this turn actually rolled by BlueTiger, so Buckle is a little closer to being able to contest him forehead. And like we have been saying, like Ionutdd has a really good shot at the longest road, but if we objectively look at it, even his wood brick production isn't that high.
It's not great.
Yeah. So he, uh, so yeah, that is something that we do have to keep in mind. Like it might actually be a challenge for Ionutdd to get the longest road down the stretch.
Mhm.
Like he might not be able to have the wood brick production to get like 10 roads and fend off everyone. Buckle might be able to get the largest army, secure that, and then roll a couple 5s and take it from him.
Yeah, I think as it stands, everyone would agree Buckle is the guy to beat on this board. And when you leave an 8-5-10 and a 9-5-10, that's going to be the case.
Mhm.
But yeah, here we have Alex with another city.
Yeah.
I
And a
think
10 and a
Alex
9 in a row.
Mhm.
Great
Alex
orbit for Buckle. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Alex hasn't seen very many 4s or 3s. Um, that could be a game changer if he gets a couple of those as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Chapha offers the ore for wheat. Let's see if anyone is willing to take this. I don't think we have seen a lot of wheat being implemented into the game. Yeah, we haven't seen 8s or 6s this orbit yet. But we do see a trade go down between Chapha and BlueTiger. Let's see what Chapha is able to do with this. He does have the wood board 9 cards in his hand, so might be able to city here. Do you feel like if he can city here, do you feel like 6-3-11 or 8-4-10 is the way to go?
Probably the 8-4-10, so that the wood port is more actionable every time an 8 rolls is a free card. And if people are blocking Buckle, yeah, the 10 ore I guess would be blocked, but
Ooh,
there's
that's
an
a big
argument.
move.
Mhm.
City and a development card on the same turn, but now we also roll a 5. So we've had 2 5s, a 9, and a 10 for Buckle this orbit. So we
Yeah.
are gonna see some big moves. He might like the weed to make it like super explosive, but we are gonna see big moves here.
Yeah.
As we did on Chapha's turn, because a city and a development card on the same turn is pretty big. So Buckle wants to give a brick and a sheep for a wheat. Yeah, I don't think anyone can really trade it to
Uh,
him.
No, I don't think Buckle's gonna get a lot of love with trades. I'm curious if it has something to do with the block that was made earlier by Chapha. Who knows if there's anything that Buckle is owing Chapha at this
Mhm.
stage.
Yeah. But Chapha doesn't have any cards, so right now he cannot trade it with him. So I think so BlueTiger wants to give a wheat for a brick and an ore. Oh, that's interesting. That might lead to Settle City for BlueTiger. I don't know. We did rule a 9, a 10, and 2-5. So I think BlueTiger has a lot of wood in his hand right now.
If
So
you're BlueTiger or anyone else on this board other than Buckle, would you think the best way is to slow Buckle down in terms of blocks or just strategy in terms of who gets what spots?
It really depends on what he does right now, I think. Okay, so wheat for... I think this is a good deal for Buckle. I don't think BlueTiger is... I think BlueTiger is in last place at the moment. So what he's doing right now is he is, instead of doing instead of doing something like a 4-for-1 with the bank, he can do a 2-for-1 with BlueTiger, or perhaps he wasn't able to do anything. And now he's able to expand his game a lot further. BlueTiger is kind of in a position where he needs to do something. And I think, okay, so he's going to City, I suppose, if we see the 4 wood for wheat. If that's the case, blocking the 8 wheat and feeding, well, at some point, giving some wood to Ionutd so he can take the 10-3-11 and perhaps the longest road. But Buckle has so many options now, sitting up the 8-5-10 and another 9. So he's also getting the rolls for the past few orbits. So difficult to stop. Right now, his flexibility is quite low, depending on his development cards. But like if he has a Year of Plenty, I don't think there's a way of stopping Buckle right now. But if he has Knights or Victory Points, there might be a way to stop him from getting all win conditions. So I feel like the players on the table have to work together so they can divide the win conditions between them instead of Buckle getting them. I think that's the only way, and there needs to be great cooperation between BlueTiger, Ionutd, and Chapha.
Absolutely. There's a situation here where Buckle can take Road and Army, putting him at 8 points, and he's got 2 open settlement spots, and that's GG. So
yeah,
the other players, the best thing they can do is try and ensure that probably Alex gets that 10-3-11, maybe so that he can get Road. Or maybe BlueTiger, but BlueTiger, he just doesn't have the brick production to meaningfully compete for Road with Buckle. I don't think so. Maybe Alex is best positioned because it's easy for him to connect, and then between Chapha and BlueTiger, they compete for Army. But yeah, I think that has to be the allocation of who goes for what.
I agree with that, and that's also why I think this 2-for-1 trade is extra spicy, like between Buckle and BlueTiger, because Buckle was now able to break the trust between the 3 players a little bit, because Buckle made the trade with BlueTiger, showing that to Ionutd and Chapha that BlueTiger is here to expand his own game at the cost of helping Buckle. So that makes it more difficult to cooperate fully during this game. Of course, the steals are going to be on Buckle, but they need to do a lot of really heavy cooperation, and it still might not succeed against Buckle. So that is, and the numbers need to roll in order to be able to do that. Because if you don't get 4 2s and 3s, then there's no, or at least brick for Ionutd, then there's no way they can keep Buckle off the longest road.
And we know that Buckle has at least one non-knight. Is that correct? Like Buckle had a turn down development card earlier when he was blocked.
I think the 9 sheep was blocked at that point, so I don't think he had to move anything. Okay. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that was the case.
Okay.
So Chapha moved it twice, and now put it on the 8 wheat, stealing from Buckle twice, I believe, and doing a deal with BlueTiger in order to get a development card. And now Buckle is up next, and now we can see if, we are going to see his second activated knight. He cannot steal from Chapha because Chapha doesn't have any cards, so he's gonna put it on BlueTiger actually. Oh, interesting.
Hmm.
Why do you feel like he's going for a BlueTiger in this situation? Ooh, big roll.
He might be thinking about army as being more of the priority.
Yeah. Okay.
BlueTiger, I think, is maybe better set up to do that, or that's his priority, and Alex is looking at road. I don't think he should be worried about road. I mean, he just needs a couple of 5s. So it would make sense for him to prioritize army, and road will just happen naturally.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah. Now this 10 rolled, and this is why I argued that settling on the 5-2 is perhaps better than sitting up first, because now you are kind of in a position where you are stuck if you get a ton of ore. You do not have any use for this ore, basically. Like, you could 4-for-1 it, but that's the least efficient you can make something. So he is offering wood and sheep for wheat. If nobody takes this, it indicates he doesn't have any wheat. So he might have to 4-for-1 the ore, or hold with 8 cards, or do something like a road to to play something out. He also indicates that he has 2 sheep, so perhaps 4 ore for wheat, and then a settle. That would be like best case scenario for Buckle, which isn't a good like a good case scenario. So so yeah, that's my argument there.
Are we able to jump back in just to hear a little bit about what the players are saying to each other?
Yeah.
Hey, we have a chance. Nice.
Actually, 8.
Great.
So Tiger.
Yeah. What do you want?
For sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just asking though. Would you prefer giving me a wheat or a sheep? It's up to you.
What do you want to buy, Dev?
Honestly, yeah, it doesn't really matter. So, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, just take it.
Keep in hand. So.
Yeah. Oh man, this game. Wow.
What's with these 10? Hate these.
Eva, do you want an ore?
What are you looking for? Sheep?
Everything but sheep.
Yeah, I can take an ore.
What can you offer?
I'll send it out. No.
That was very interesting because we saw a lot of cooperation between the players in order to get each other development cards to be able to keep up with Buckle in the largest army race. I feel like they are doing a good job of that.
Yeah.
Like people taking ore. Nobody is looking for ore at the moment. So, or perhaps Blue is, but so they were able to give him an ore for something. So that definitely did help. And BlueTiger was able to get a development card, and now it's Ionutdd's turn, and he also rolled a 10. Does Ionutdd have the wheat, or no? He can actually not do anything with it. So what is he gonna do here?
Yeah,
Just
I wonder what his priority would be in terms of his next spot. I mean, probably still thinking the 10-3-11. Having said that, no one's racing him to the 10-3-11 either. So for his own game, getting more ore doesn't really help when his wheat is blocked, is jammed up, as Buckle would say. It's tough. Maybe he also needs to get on a port so he can start getting wheat a little bit more flexibly, because that 8 wheat is just such a massive target for the robber.
Yeah. Now we had the 9. What can Chapha do with this? He doesn't get anything on a 9, but there is a lot of sheep out there. He has ore. He has plenty of ore. We know that for sure. So he wants to give ore for wheat. I don't think there's a lot of wheat in the game. Nobody looks for ore, but it is okay. So BlueTiger is willing to do sheep and wheat for 2 ore. So Chapha can get the development card. Tiger gets closer to his second city, or perhaps he can do double dev, because ore is the thing that he needs a lot of in order to buy a lot of development cards. So I actually feel like this is a pretty fair deal between the two of them. Do you agree with that, or?
I do agree. I think BlueTiger and Chapha are pretty even right now, generally speaking, and they both win conditions depend on getting army. So I think that's a pretty fair deal.
Yeah. In terms of predictions, do you who do you feel has the, or who do you feel is going to win this game from this point on?
I mean, I think Buckle still has to be the favorite just because of how close he is. So if he has 1 knight and a 5 rolls, he's probably at 9 points. With, or 8 points with 2 open settlement spots. It's just so easy for him to win at this stage. A lot needs to go right for the other players in order for Buckle to not win this game. So it's not a foregone conclusion, but in terms of who's the favorite, it still has to be Buckle.
Yeah, I 100% agree with what you said. Yeah, so yeah, exactly. So we saw a free roll, and Buckle isn't able to do anything with that, but he did get a couple of cards on the previous roll where he got 2 sheep, and now he has the Year of Plenty. Oh, that's an amazing pickup for him. Is able to get 2 development cards out of this, perhaps even more. Let's find out. The 8 has been blocked, though. I don't think he has more wheat, but let's see. Very interesting what he was able to do with this. I feel like this is a really big move. Not really a game changer because he was already in the lead, but
he just strengthened the wrong position.
Yeah, a game. I don't, a game elaborator, or I don't know. I don't know how I would yeah. So okay, we continue with an 11, which is the best roll that BlueTiger could get. However, he already got 2 ore on the trade, so he is actually offering ore this time to get wheat. I think perhaps he can get double def with that, or perhaps he could get a city. He did get a wheat on the previous turn, so we do see at least 1 development card. Perhaps showing to the other players, hey, I'm trying to buy development cards. I'm not trying to get the second wheat to get a city.
It's interesting.
Ooh, the knight.
Buckle got both Year of Plenties this game, which is pretty perfect.
Yeah. That's, and especially for him, because if you have production, you simply want to add some flexibility, and Year of Plenty does that perfectly.
Exactly.
Ooh, that's an unfortunate 7 for Ionutdd, as he has to discard 5 cards. BlueTiger only got 1 development card. He didn't expect to be able to get a wheat out of Buckle, because if Buckle had wheat, he would have used it before. Now we see that he got 1 development card. He stole a card from Buckle, putting some heat on him. If Buckle doesn't have a knight, then perhaps BlueTiger can take the largest army, but that's a far stretch. Ionutdd discards 2 wood, 2 sheep, and an ore. And do you feel like he will put it on the 8 wheat? I don't think so, right? Or do you feel like he's desperate enough to do that?
Well, I think everyone else on the board should be desperate to slow down.
Yeah.
But there's the argument also for blocking, either the 5 brick or the 5 wood, in the sense that Buckle's probably going to get army at this stage. So, maybe you try and slow down his road as well, because if he gets 1-5, like that's also road on top of army.
Yeah.
So I might have focused on preventing the coordinated road, maybe, and even
Yeah,
blocking.
I agree with that. Yeah. I don't think this is a bad block, because every time the 10 hits, he gets 4 ore. Now he gets 2.
Yeah, but the ore doesn't really do much for Buckle. He's got 2
Yeah.
cities. He can't city up anywhere else. He's got a 4-for-1 the ore. So
Perhaps he
I
wanted to force Chapha into using the one of his development cards to put on extra pressure on Buckle this way.
right, that's fair.
So this is going on the 8 wheat, I assume. Is there, or yeah, okay. So is there an argument to steal from BlueTiger in that sense? Because Buckle only has 1 card. If you steal that last card from him, and then it goes, perhaps BlueTiger moves it back to the 10, or he would steal from you? Or is
No,
that too?
I think you just steal from Buckle, and Buckle Buckle goes next, so he'll have
Oh, right. Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh, the 11.
So yeah, it looks like Chapha is thinking about road, knowing that Buckle is likely already received army. So I think that's the correct block and the correct steal.
I like it. Yeah. And also with 0 cards, like, he could have a road building, but if he plays a road building, someone else will likely take the largest army away from Buckle. So next development card use will be interesting to see how this game will continue further for all these players. So a development card bought by Chapha, and we have Buckle's roll. Just waiting a bit. So okay. That is interesting. Why do you feel like he waited with that roll?
Well, he might not have a knight, which would be interesting.
That would be a game changer.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, wow. Or perhaps he knows that the others don't have knights, but then I still feel like he would still use the knight to unblock himself. So
I think if
anyways, we
would have played it, he would have had to secure army, because Chapha could just bought a dev card, and all keeping the 5 brick block is not good for him at this stage either. So he likely has 3 knights.
Interesting. So do you feel like this puts more or less heat on Buckle?
Ironically, probably less. In this, well, Buckle, he could have 3 VPs, and he would just need to say, give some transparency as to what his dev cards are. If he has 2 VPs and a mono, that's not great either. But maybe it's a road building, and he already is getting road. That would take some heat off him, because at least now he's not competing for both road and army. That's a big issue for players. When you go for both, you very often you get neither, because everyone's robbing you and thinking that you're gonna get both. So if you can convince them that he's only going for road, I think that's a good thing for him in terms of the target.
Yeah, and our underdog is taking a major step here, taking the largest army and also rolling a 7, so he can double down on this block and put it on the 10 ore. So let's see if he's able to get another development card, because Chapha is also coming for BlueTiger's army. We know that BlueTiger has a lot of ore, but we also know he rolled a 7 and he was able to steal some cards. He already bought the development card on this turn. Yeah, so perhaps it's not a knight, but like his opponents will be less inclined to help him get development cards now that Buckle doesn't have the largest army.
Right. What are your thoughts on disclosing dev cards? Generally speaking, would you ever do it? Do you have strong thoughts on doing it versus not doing it?
I think it's a very thin line between when I think both are sometimes the right thing to do, and I don't have a lot of strong opinions on when to do it and when not to do it. I haven't really made that differentiation in terms of like now is the moment to do it and now is not the moment to do it, but I like it there are certain situations for me where I like to tell people what my development cards are, just simply to get some heat off of me. Like if I don't if people are expecting me to get largest army but I don't have a knight, then I'm simply gonna say, okay, I don't have a knight, guys, you don't need to worry about me here. But there are some situations where you want to keep people in the dark as well, even if it is because once you have told your development cards, there's no way you can untell it. So that is that there you need to think some steps ahead sometimes with whether or not you tell it or not. I feel like it really needs to be a conscious decision if
Yes.
you tell what your development cards are.
Yep, I agree. And I know some players will never do it, and other players overshare. I tend to err on the side of being transparent, which can get me into trouble because people know that if I'm not saying, I probably have a smoking gun. Like, I'm not going to lie about it. But I also don't like to gaslight people, and I think people respect that. But I think it's a strategic choice when you decide to disclose it. In Buckle's case, I'm trying to think if there's a case to be made as to whether he fesses up as to what he has, because we know the Year Plenties are gone.
Yeah.
He likely doesn't have knights, and so if he's got 3 VPs, he's not 7. And people are still thinking that he's going to get roads, so they're likely thinking he's effectively at 9 with 2 open settlement spots. So if he has something that isn't that, then he might want to say it. But having said that, what could be less threatening than 3 VPs? If he's got 2 VPs in a mono, that's still horrible. If he has a road building, that's also horrible. So in Buckle's case, maybe there's nothing to be gained by being honest.
Yeah. Well, he is getting close to that new King of Catan record of being stolen from. He is definitely making some steps in there as BlueTiger is activating his 4th knight, which is key because Chapha activated his 3rd knight on the previous turn and also has 3 unactivated development cards up his sleeve. So we are getting pretty far in the development card deck, and Chapha is making it difficult for BlueTiger. But he was also able to get the development card this turn as he stole from Chapha, and still has 9 cards left. So interesting to see what he will do here.
Yep, this is good for Buckle. Finally, he's not being stolen from.
Yeah,
and as we said, he could be effectively on 9 points. So it'll be interesting to see what his dev cards actually are, and if the rules shake out a certain way.
Do you feel like he has 3 knights, or do you feel like one of them is at least playable?
Sorry, you mean 3 VPs?
Oh yeah, 3 VPs, exactly.
It's hard to say. Like, and if we've been tracking judiciously, then there may have been opportunities where if he had a mono, he likely would have played it. I mean, I think that's probably a mono or a road building he could have and be holding on to.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
feel
think
like with road building, he wouldn't have played it because he already has these settlement spots.
exactly.
With mono, there were a lot of opportunities where he had a lot of ore, but there was no wheat in the game. So I don't think, and like he can also not city with it. So I don't think there's a lot of ways to really tell what his development cards are.
I agree.
BlueTiger has gotten 2 development cards, or now even 3 development cards on this turn, and now finally passes it on to Unit. BlueTiger could be at 9 here.
Yep, and Buckle finally gets the 5. Can we navigate back to the board to hear what the players are saying?
Yeah.
What's that?
You want to give up that 2 bricks that you got, or no?
No. I'm sorry.
Nothing I can do?
Nah. I don't really see anything.
Alice, where should I move it?
5 wood.
5 wood. It just rolled.
Yeah. You gotta block Siva, right? As
Yeah. Is there a world where
well. Play the knight.
Yeah. Buckle
is there a
could be
world where Buckle wins with 3 VPs road?
He has sheep.
I don't have 3 VPs.
He can have 2 VPs and a road builder, right? All he needs is like 2
I
settlements.
feel like you need to rob him
If
right
that's
now.
right, if that's right, that only puts me at 8, and there's still gonna be a road.
I mean, like one roll, like you
Like,
can win.
What are your bets? Like, we
I mean,
know.
Alex,
who knows?
hold on,
Siva
Alex,
could-
do you think we
Siva
should
could be
rob
on 9.
Siva or Buckle?
Yeah.
I think
I
you should
mean,
rob Buckle, but
Chapha,
See-
1-8 and the game, right? Like he gets 2 roads with the road builder with it, and then he gets 2 points and 2 VPs. That's 8 points. And 1-8, he gets.
Buckle is the
Yeah.
block on the 5 wood.
Siva could be on 9 right now.
So
No, I mean-
so Alex. Oh
I
wait,
feel
hold
like
on,
it's
guys. I'm talking to
Buckle.
Alex.
I feel like it's Buckle, but I want to know
Robbing
what-
Buckle here?
Can
Look,
win with an 8.
I've been robbed to death, bro.
So Buckle, can you win with an 8? That's the question.
Can I win with an 8?
Siva, what are
No,
your
I
bets?
cannot win with an 8.
roads-
No.
You have 2 roads and 2 sheep in hand. Like, you know, if you can just road builder and then 2 settlements, you can win the game with 2 points. So
Alex,
just-
hold on. You said Buckle or Tiger?
Buckle.
Dude, Siva could be on
No.
Lord knows. I mean,
So you have
the
knights,
worst
right,
thing
Tiger?
is
So
Siva, do you have knights?
there's no
yeah,
way.
I have one. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 1. Yeah.
Hey,
First
what's
floor.
that? Am I seeing that right?
What did you feel, Chapha? Like,
Alex, can you help me with the dev?
Okay, I have 2 woods. What can you give?
Sorry, what did you say?
I have 2 woods.
Do you have an ore?
No, I trumped it off.
Yeah, and you might. No, the 8 hasn't rolled in a while.
Nope, I have 2 wood. Can you give me 2 cards for those 2 woods? Like, could that help you?
I have sheep for you.
2 sheeps?
2 sheep. Can you help me pop?
But you're gonna have to pay me back.
What do you want? But you don't have this, right?
Wait. No, it was only 2 woods, right?
Yeah.
2 woods for 2 sheep.
No, it's okay. It doesn't really help me anymore.
No.
I just wait for 8.
Do you have a knight still?
Because I want to keep. Because I think Tiger has a knight, right? So.
Yes, but do you have a knight? It's important you have a knight every single.
No, I don't.
Okay, I have to give you 2 woods. 2 woods for 2 sheep, and I don't know. You give me a future ore.
It doesn't help me. I just wait for the 8, man. Sorry.
No. We need you to buy a dev. If you don't have a knight.
Yeah, I know, but I don't have. I give a wheat.
No.
Yeah, or you don't have ore either, so.
No.
Yeah, we're stuck. You don't have 4 wood either, so we're kind of
Oh,
stuck.
wait, trade for time fast.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, man.
No problem. The happiness was short-lived.
Yeah, I wish we played slow timer.
104.
So we did see some attempted cooperation between Chapha and Ionutd, but there was no deal possible. However, I do think that Ionutd now the 7-year-old regrets not giving it to Chapha. But yeah.
I think the doors, if not fully closed, it's mostly closed on Alex's game at this stage. I think it's a little too late. And he's also quite a few 7s or a couple of 7s in opportune moments. It's going to be tough. But what was interesting was Tiger's pressuring Buckle, saying that if an 8 rolls, you can effectively win the game with a road building. And Buckle didn't really deny that was gonna happen. He just sort of shifted back to, well, Tiger could be at 9 points. And Buckle also said that if he had a road building, he'd only be at 8 points. So I'm curious whether he actually has a road building. I think if he does have a road building, it's not actually a bad thing for him to play it. Because the Phantom Dev card can be worse than what he actually has sometimes when you reveal it in this case.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because people often have to assume what development card you have is the worst case scenario. So if they assume that Buckle has a road building as the worst case scenario, I think Mono would be worse because he already has the longest road in his hand. So that is what they were afraid of, right? So if the 8 rolls that he has, road building plus double road saddle, I don't know, but we saw 7 by Buckle, yeah. So has he moved it yet? He has put it on the 6 wheat and stole from BlueTiger. Definitely makes sense. Let's see what he's gonna do right now. Do you feel like he should take the longest route on the either the 8 wheat or to the 6-2?
Well, one thing he could do is stop Alex from connecting. If he had road building in hand, he could build it to the 10-3-11. That just and it doesn't actually even secure him to get road, because BlueTiger could make a play of road either. So I don't know if that's okay. So Buckle does use a road building. Let's see what
This
he
is
does.
going to be interesting. He could also perhaps go on the 4 brick. That would also stop Ionutd from doing a lot of things. Because he does have the wood bricks in hand as well, so very curious to see what he will do here. You also don't want to risk it, indeed, like you said, that BlueTiger has a road building or a mono could do some damage with that. So a few seconds left, placing 2. Okay, seems like he's going for the 4 brick here.
Nice call, Trachosaurus.
Thank you.
I think Alex's game it's tough for him in this position. I'm not sure what he.
Yeah, it's unwinnable for Alex at this point. Well, unless there's only 3s and 2s left to be rolled, but let's assume reasonable things, then he's not gonna win this. So a 7 rolled by BlueTiger, but we don't see a knight yet. He's actually putting it on an 8 wheat, so I assume that his is end destination, because we know that Buckle doesn't have any wheat. So perhaps he knows. Oh, right, we knew that Chapha doesn't have any knights. And Chapha, I don't think Chapha is really. I think Chapha is known for telling the truth about his stuff in Catan. So, that is interesting. Like, what does BlueTiger have now?
Even if Chapha is telling the truth, which he probably is, you still play a knight if you're a Tiger, if you have a knight onto Buckle. So what's Tiger sitting on? Buckle did accuse Tiger of maybe being at 9 points. I didn't hear Tiger deny that. or say anything otherwise. Monos out there, Buckle probably doesn't have it.
Tiger did say he had one knight, so he did the knight not sailing on 9, but
Okay.
it's interesting to see what he does have in this situation. I do feel like if he has a knight, I would play it as well, but I would have probably played it before. So I think this indicates he also has a monopoly because he wanted to see, okay, what rolls can I steal something? Like if the 10 rolls that, then the mono might be the play here, because if we know that Chapha cannot take his army.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So we don't see a development card by Tiger, and I feel like Alex is gonna point the gun at BlueTiger here with the 5 wood.
Yeah, 5 wood's a good block. I mean, it's between Tiger and Buckle at this moment, so block both. Who you steal from?
Yeah.
Toss up, maybe Tiger.
And the thing is, for Buckle, despite having 2 years of plenties throughout this game, he has struggled to build just one settlement. So how sure can we be that he can build the settlement later on in this game? He doesn't have a 3-for-1 board, or any board for that matter. So I feel like his flexibility is gone. I don't see Buckle winning this anymore, to be honest. So Ionutdd has to decide another target. The first time he stole from Buckle, so now he's gonna steal from Tiger most likely. Yeah, I don't think there's any argument to steal from Chapha in this situation, unless it was clear that he does have a knight. That would be another game changer.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about. Go on.
Yeah, so I would like to hear what the players are saying right now.
Okay.
Chapha, do you have some word?
I don't.
No word?
Nope. Yeah, I don't. I have the same cards that I did last turn. I haven't done anything.
How about this? I think this can work. I'll give you this, and I'll promise I will not block you anymore, Siva, for the rest of the game.
You just blocked me and then took a card and asking for a road.
Yes, and now because of that, I will not block you for the rest of the game anymore.
The rest of the game?
Yes.
Oh no! Don't do that, Alex. Don't do that.
This out. I mean,
Alex, please don't do
even.
that.
I truly don't understand. For real?
Yeah.
The rest of the you're not gonna block him for the rest of the game.
The game is not gonna last anymore too much, and I don't think I'm gonna roll too many 7s. So.
Oh man, the 8.
I think it's a pretty good deal.
I mean, the game's not gonna last that much longer because Siva's gonna win it.
Buckle, you just need a 5 to win the game now.
Alex, can you help me with the wheat? Can you give me a wheat, man?
Okay, can you give me 2 words? No, 2 words. I need 2 cards, basically.
Sorry?
I need 2 cards.
2 cards. Okay, because I think Tiger's gonna win soon.
Yeah.
What?
So. We need you to get road, right, Alex?
Yes.
Soon?
Road and 5-2.
And then you don't have the ore either.
No, I don't have it. I have
so I want to port my wood that I just rolled to get a dev.
Are you comfortable enough sharing your hand?
Sorry?
Are you comfortable sharing your cards? What they are?
I have right now. I can give you 2 sheep. That's the only thing I can give you, man. Like you said, you wanted 2 cards, right? So, like,
so you have,
I don't know if
okay. Yeah, I see. I understand.
Sorry?
I understand. Okay.
Yeah. because I think Tiger was gonna win. So this is a trade.
I'm gonna need some future woods. Can I count on that?
You want future woods? Yeah, if 8 rolls, then we can do a 1-for-1. Okay. So Alex, future wood, right?
Future. I think you're gonna do that regardless. Just make sure. 'Cause I need to get the 5-2 if I can.
Okay, yeah, I can help. I can help.
Buckle wins with a 5, right?
Possibly.
Because 8 just rolled, and that gives him 2 settlement, unless he has 1 sheep.
Chapha, do you have a knight? Did you get a knight?
No, I didn't get a knight.
Don't share that. No, man. No.
Ugh.
Oh my god. Okay, at least it wasn't a 5.
Yeah. The players were afraid of the 5 rolling because then Buckle might have won by being able to put 2 settlements down. And we know that Chapha didn't receive a knight. How many development cards are even left in the deck? We know there have been 11 knights played. There are 8 development cards down, and BlueTiger didn't play a knight here. Mono, okay, is that game? Because if he had a knight, oh right, Chapha didn't draw a knight, so he doesn't have to play it. So could still be game, right? I don't know.
Could be. I mean, we heard Chapha say that BlueTiger is likely to win multiple times, and Tiger didn't say anything. Yeah, and I think also Alex is probably going to compete for road with Buckle. So right now, Tiger is definitely the one to watch.
2 development cards, still 8 cards left, which 6 of which are wheat. Like he didn't go on a wheat board, but he does have a 3-for-1 board, so he could probably get another development card if he wants to. There aren't a lot of development cards left, so that's why it's interesting to buy as many development cards now as possible, because you prevent a lot of options for your opponent. So I really like this monopoly. So okay, we see potential trade options. So Chapha actually might have 3 victory points, which would bring the table really close together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe, but Chapha was saying that he thought that BlueTiger was going to win when he had 2 dev cards turned down. So, you know, he might have suspected that BlueTiger wasn't on the precipice of winning if he had 2 VPs then. And
Yeah.
Buckle has 2 VPs.
Yeah. I think there's only 1 development card left in the deck. Because we've seen 11 activated knights, we've seen 9 development cards in hand, and we have seen 2 Year of Plenties, 1 road building, 1 monopoly. So there's only 1 card left. I think they're trying to figure that out now as well. I don't get why Ionutd. Oh, wow. If I were Ionutd, I would not have traded here. Because you could perhaps get this development card yourself.
Also, Alex or Ionutd made a deal with BlueTiger to not rob him for the rest of the game. Did you capture that?
Yeah, but did that go through?
It did. Well, it sounded like it did because.
Okay, I thought they didn't do that, but perhaps that was I don't know. Pretty interesting deal. I don't think it's really worth it. I personally think there's no way that Ionutd can make a shot at this game,
Mm.
even how desperately he's trying to do that.
No, I don't think so either. I think he can only prevent Buckle from winning with taking road. I don't think he at this stage has a viable shot for win condition. But
Yeah.
you know, all things are possible in Catan.
Well, a lot. Yeah. So we saw the 10 roll. So Ionutdd does have 2 ore in his hand right now. What else do we know? He doesn't have any wheat because the wheat mono on the previous turn. Don't know a lot else about his hand because the 8 were the previous 2 rolls before this. Let's see, 4, so he might be able to build some roads here. I feel like that would be almost best case scenario for him. Perhaps they are trying to figure something out. Yeah, so we do see 1 road. Oh, if he can settle there, that would take a spot away from Buckle. However, that is not that important for Buckle because he has spots on the 8 wheat, 4 brick, and a 9 sheep as well.
Right.
So I feel like if he were to put a road down, perhaps he would want to connect through the middle, build it there, and not build there actually. I just think this accomplishes a lot.
Maybe he's just thinking he wants to give himself more room to build roads than Buckle will have, but I just don't think he doesn't have time.
Yeah.
The game will be decided in the next couple of orbits, I think.
Yeah. And perhaps even next turn, or perhaps Chapha can do something here. Perhaps he did draw a knight. Haven't seen it yet. So we need to see another mono, don't we? So that might be in Chapha's hand actually.
Can we transition back one more time? I'm just so curious, given that's the end game, what the players.
Let's see, it would be the ore. I think there's the most stuff out there. There's tons of ore out there.
I think you win if we mono the ore.
Yep, he
definitely has 2 settles. Yeah, that's what he needs.
Does he have the sheep in his hand?
I don't think he has any sheep.
No, but any roll give him the win then. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the
roll would give me the win then. No, because I have to sell it twice, and I don't have a port, so I would have to 4-for-1 everything. So not any roll would give me the win.
What do you guys think? Do I mono the brick or should I mono the ore?
So I can give you 2 wheats for 2 wheats and a sheep for 2 roads.
For 2 roads?
Yes, and that would give me 5 too if he doesn't settle there.
So Chapha,
Okay.
how about you take road, right? Like you take the brick from him and take the road. So even with any rolls, like he's not gonna.
Or I can give you city material.
Yeah, there just isn't enough brick though.
There is some. There is some. You have to steal brick or wood.
13 seconds.
I only have 2 bricks. So it's I sold you.
Okay.
I can give you 3 wheats for 2 roads or 2 wheats and a sheep for 2 roads. It's your choice.
So say that again.
Let me type it. 3 wheat.
Type it, sorry.
1 road or 2 wheat. 1 sheep.
Do a trade to extend time if you want.
Oh wait, no. Sorry, this is what I meant. This is what I meant.
Take it back. Accept it and take it back. Time.
Now I hope I don't 7 up.
Oh, we need a 7 now.
I'll do this back with you. Just give me back the brick.
I do not have the win.
Give me back the brick. Give me back the brick.
For time?
Yeah.
For time only. For time.
So you want to keep onto that brick?
Yeah, I need it.
Okay. Just trade it back then. It
Uh,
might be GG. It might be GG, I think.
before you
Not.
CDF, before you end turn, is there any way you can give me some insurance? 10 seconds.
Insurance. Wait, give me a sec. Let me just do this first.
Yeah.
I can give you 1 wood for something or a sheep for something.
1 wood, and I'll give you what? Okay. Propose fast.
Chapha, do you have a road builder?
Okay, well, so we'll figure out the insurance later.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
road builder. Oh, that's
GG.
easy work.
How fun.
Lucky.
Good luck.
GG.
Where's the brick part of the
No, I mean, Chapha, do you have a road builder?
Yeah, I had a road builder.
Then maybe we could have helped you take road instead. You should have just said that, man.
No, like, then you guys know that I have a mono and road builder.
No, if you had a
Yeah.
road builder, probably it's better. You could have taken road and then made him play.
And I can't play my mono for the brick.
The mono, you can hold on to it, right? Like you needed wood to get 2 more roads, so we could have easily given you that.
Buckle, where's the brick panel, right or no?
What's that?
Where's the brick panel, right or weak?
I mean, I think either one of them was right. So like I was trying to talk him into monoing the ore because he had a lot of ore, but I still would have had 2 wood, 2 brick, 2 sheep, and 2 wheat.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So like the wheat or the brick would have been the right mono. Yeah, for sure.
So it's either I pick the wheat or I pick the brick, right? Or the wood, maybe.
No, wood is
you had the wood
useless.
for- yeah,
Sorry.
I only had 3 wood though. So
Sorry,
like, that's what I
sorry
was
to
like.
interrupt, guys. Congratulations, Buckle, on a great win. Do you want to join Gio and me and Treek on table 2 for a quick winners interview? Then we want to get the PL final started.
Sure. Can I go to the bathroom real quick?
Yeah, get the
I'll be right
bathroom,
back.
and we'll see you in table 2 in a sec.
Yeah, give me like 30 seconds.
Yeah, okay. So Gio and Treek, you might want to come over to table 2 and you can give your thoughts on the game.
Hey man.
What a game this was.
Yeah,
Buck
yeah.
also did. At some point, I felt like he couldn't win anymore, but he did. He did win. Even though Tiger got so many development cards, I feel like I was quite unlucky not getting victory points at the end. But yeah, so our underdog wasn't able to take down the BuckleUpBuckar who started with the 8-5-10 and a 5-9-10. So
It's
I
a
believe.
party in the USA.
Hey Buckle, congratulations
Throw my
on.
hands up.
It's an amazing game.
I'm
You played
singing for
flawlessly.
Gio. What's that?
I said amazing game. Like you played incredibly from beginning to end. Your placements 8-5-10, 5-9-10. How happy were you when you saw the 5-9-10 left open?
Actually, I wasn't happy at all because, like a 5-8-10, 5-9-10, right? I just on different sides of the board, like not good diversity, and then roads not great. So I was actually I really wanted the like the 6-9, like 6-9-2 or 6-9-3. But
So we were
Yeah.
saying you probably take the record of being robbed most often during this game if you get like 20 steals in.
Oh, it was
You were
crazy. Did you
close
hear-
18.
did you hear me like pleading my case not to be robbed anymore?
Well, there was,
No, well, at the end we did. Yeah, at the end we did, but
Like-
at the start, I don't know.
I was robbed 18 times.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to the voice chat, like the last half of the game is just me begging not to be robbed anymore.
I'm sure you took it with your stride. I mean, when you have an 8-5-10, 5-9-10 setup, you just you know you're gonna get some steals, and I think like you play like a lion in that case. Like you can't really play possum. You just you make the right decisions with the setup that you had, and I think that's what you did. With
Yeah, I got a city. I bought a dev and then I bought a city and then I had another turn where I could have cityed again.
Mhm.
But I was like, I'm already gonna get like robbed to death.
Yeah.
And I was really at night, so I was just like, screw it, we're just gonna brute force it. So
Yeah.
I had a city hand, so I bought 2 devs. And then next time I was in the same situation, I was just like, screw it. Like
Right.
put it down. We're just gonna ram this thing through.
There was an interesting point in the game when you had 3 dev cards turned down,
Mhm.
and I think the players were concerned that you may have had 3 VPs, or maybe 2 VPs in a mono, or potentially 2 VPs in a road building. How did you consider disclosing what your dev cards were? Because if you had the road building, it would mean you had 8 points when BlueTiger could have been at 9.
Yeah, he sniffed it out, like that I had a VP and like 2 VPs in a road builder. And I was like telling him, like, even if this is the case, I only go to 8 points. Like I was like, plus there's gonna be a road battle. Like, I don't want to get in a road battle. Like, basically, if that's the case, then I go to 8 and I'm still fighting for my life. You know, like, and I'm trying to tell them like this is what's going on, but they just, they kept focusing on me. I guess for good or bad. I did end up winning, but and then they were kind of like giving Siva some really good trades. They actually worked together really well that game. Like trying to stop me, but I think some of the trades for Siva were pretty sweet.
Well, you had an incredible season. I think you started off with 3 wins in a row.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the season overall and the finals? Like 4 great players, tough season. Take away.
It's weird. They always talk about you never remember the wins, you only remember the losses. And I remember being at 3 wins, and I was like, okay, so there's like really no way that I can screw this up, And then in one game, I only scored 4 points, and I like wanted to cry, and I wanted to cry, and I just remember, Buckle, you found a way to screw it up. Good job. I think I remember that 4-point game the most, actually.
Oh, that made you go into the semis, didn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, that's what knocked me down into the semis. So then I had to play in the semis. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
okay.
that is rough. Like you needed only, like if you had 7 points there, I think, like pretty average stuff, then you would have gone to the final straight away. But now you had like the perfect path, both the semis and the finals won. So congratulations on that.
I like doing things the hard way.
Well, congratulations, Buckle. You really played well that game. It was